Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Let's get into it. So today's review is Spiderman Far from Home. So I got to this movie kind of late, so I figured I really wasn't going to do a review. But then I said, what the heck? Why not? Put my spin on it. So this movie takes place a little bit after Avengers Endgame, after Tony Stark's passing and everything. So you have, it shows up where Spider-Man is at school, Peter's back at school, and it's from the first Spider-Man Homecoming, where you got the kids that do the they talk on, do their little school preview on what's happening in school. They did like a showing respect to the Avengers that passed away. So it had that playing, and it had Whitney Houston song playing in the background. So it shows that, and Peter still feeling for Tony Stark, and then there's a school trip coming up. Meanwhile, Aunt May, she's got something going on where she has him doing a public appearance, and he's real standoffish about getting in front of crowds, like he Gary be the next person to take over for Iron Man, take the place of Iron Man. He doesn't want that responsibility. So he's real standoffish, and when they put him back out there to sign autographs and stuff, he pretty much end up leaving. Meanwhile, you instantly start to see there's some type of chemistry going on with Happy and Aunt May. Happy showing up out of nowhere to Aunt May events and stuff like that. So it's a chemistry going on with that. And Peter just looking at it weird, but he's still keeping it moving, doing whatever he do. So meanwhile, of course, he's still into Mary Jane, and he doesn't have the heart to really approach her right now, So you keep in mind, he's still a teenager in high school. He doesn't have the confidence, right, to approach her. So they on a plane, him and his boy talking about how they're going to be bachelors in Paris or whatever, and their seats got switched up. Then his boy ended up with another girl, and he ended up somewhere else. He couldn't sit next to Mary Jane. So that messed his profile up. Meanwhile, another guy, he likes Mary Jane, so he's trying to push up on Mary Jane. So that's kind of like the plot of the story. Meanwhile, they get into their destination of the trip, and Fury has been reaching out to Spider-Man, but he's been pushing Fury up because he doesn't want the responsibility. But Fury, of course, is determined to link with him. Now, in comes this water. Like, have you been following the Spider-Mans since it started the movies? With the Toby guy, with the Spider-Man. Like in part 3 of that Spider-Man, not the Amazing Spider-Man series, but the part 3 of the original, there was a Sandman villain in part 3. And then, so in this one, it's like a water guy villain. So that's what you see in the trailer. So then that happens, and then you see this guy come, Mysterio, flying through, but you'll find out what's what. And I kind of felt that through the trailers once I was watching, but I just went along with the movie. But he shows up, and he's supposed to be the good guy from another Earth. Now, it's key moments that happen in this movie that you either picked up on it or you didn't, and you keep watching it. So nevertheless, the plot goes on. Mysterio shows up. Fury shows up on Spider-Man, basically saying, hey, we need you, or whatever, you need to make a decision. And they give Peter these glasses that was Stark wanted him to have these glasses, and they're special glasses because what it does is it allows Peter to have access to Stark's technology all throughout the world when he has these glasses and it has his DNA in the glasses and the little computer thing talks to him. But he doesn't want this responsibility. He eventually he passes it off to Mysterio. So when he passes it off to Mysterio, you instantly see that Mysterio is a joke, meaning he's really a bad guy the whole time. He used to work for Tony Stark, and he got fired, and now he was using all these manipulation projectors and all this. Everything that he was showing was really fake, and it was illusion that people were seeing. And he used that to get Peter, he's a teenager, manipulated him to get the glasses so he could have access to all of Tony Stark's drones and he could take over or whatever. So that's the plot of the story. Meanwhile, Peter wants to hang out with Mary Jane. She pretty much tells him she knows he's Spider-Man. He denies it, and then once he finds out, when she shows him the projector thing that she found, and when she dropped it, it exploded. It showed the Mysterio doing all these things. Then that's when they found out he was a hoax, and then he realized he gave him them glasses, and that's going to be the problem. So, meanwhile, with that, he had Mary Jane. He admitted to her that he is Spider-Man. So now another person knows. He let his friend know that knows he's Spider-Man, that she knows as well. So after that, it's pretty much him going to fight Mysterio and how he's gonna fit. He links up with Happy. He tells Happy he gets kind of beat up by Mysterio, and then he ends up somewhere far and in jail, and then he broke himself out of jail, and he tells Happy to come, and then he created a suit in the back of the plane with Happy. So that was cool, and he had a new suit. He had a black suit on, Spider-Man suit, and the only name they could come up with was Night Monkey. That was, I think they could have did better with that, calling it Night Monkey. They could have called something else, but they did. That was a knock right there. Then he got his new Spider-Man suit. He ended up fighting Mysterio, and Mysterio always had contingency plans. So even when you thought that he was down, he had another plan, and you didn't know what was real or not. So you left the end of the movie not knowing whether Mysterio was dead or not. So there are post-credit scenes. One of the post-credit scenes at the end of the movie is pretty much Spider-Man takes Mary Jane on a ride with him flying through the city of New York, and while they're doing that, Mysterio made a video of pretty much him killing him, but he really didn't kill him because the drone shot Mysterio. So they made a video of him killing Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man killing Mysterio, I'm sorry. And now it makes it look like Spider-Man is the bad guy. So that's pretty much how it ended. Now, here goes some things that you may not know. So it's certain moments of the movie that you got to catch. So Fury and his agent that's with Fury, they're not really Fury. Now, if you've seen the movie Captain Marvel, there were, I forgot what their name, the creatures that came from space that we all thought was bad guys, and they could change into people, regular people. And then at the end, it showed when Captain Marvel was with her friend, and they really was good guys the whole time. The other people was the bad people. And they stayed behind because they was waiting for their people to come grab them. However, these people, those two people, was a female and a male that stayed behind. That female and male that stayed behind, they were really Fury and his agent the whole time during this movie of Spider-Man. If you listen to key moments of when he's talking to Spider-Man, there's one moment where he says, when they're talking about the other dimensions of Earth, he says, your Earth. So not our Earth. You know what I'm saying? So that was one Easter egg that kind of like was speaking to, yo, that's not Fury. So back in Captain Marvel, Fury also spoke of how when Captain Marvel was talking to him and saying, what do your mom call you? And he was like, Fury, don't nobody call me Nick. So it was a moment where in a movie of Spider-Man where the agent called him Nick. He doesn't allow people to call him Nick. They always call him Fury. So that was another Easter egg. So just in case you didn't know that Fury is really on vacation. Their mission, those creatures' missions, I can't think what their name was, but those creatures' missions was only to go and give Spider-Man those glasses while Fury was on vacation or whatever. And then somehow they still got mixed up in everything that was going on. So that was like a little cool thing that a lot of people didn't know, that if you pay attention to a little bit, that you get to find out. So overall, it was an okay film. We just got past Endgame. So here we have this Spider-Man, and it's just okay. So in a 4-star rating system, I want to give this movie a 2.5 out of 4 stars. 2.5 out of 4 stars. It was okay. Not a must see. And that's pretty much it. Subscribe. I need to get my subscribers up. Like the video, Corey. I need to get my subscribers up. I'm steady trying to build a channel. Trying to stay consistent with the reviews. Till the next time.